I found the most expensive card at MagicCon Vegas. There are so many pieces of shiny cardboard that are bought and sold on the con floor. I wanted to know what the most expensive card you could possibly buy at the con was going to be. So on day one, I went through all the stands and found the most expensive cards that each vendor had. We're going to be going through that and talking about some of the reasons why those cards are so expensive. Before we hop into that though, remember to hit that subscribe button if you're not already. It really helps a lot. And let me know in the comment section if I'm going to see you at MagicCon Atlanta. Also let me know in the comment section, what card do you think is going to be the most expensive card and how much money you think it's going for? We're going to start at Cool Stuff Inc. Here's a little snapshot of a lot of their good stuff. It's pretty typical among a lot of the stands, if not a little below average in value. You're going to find Power 9 and Dual Lands at every single stand. Here the most expensive card was an Ancestral Recall at $4,500. Moving on, we had Pastime Games. They had some original foil shocks and fetches, some serialized soul rings from Lord of the Rings, Invoke Prejudice, which is a pretty hard card to find because it is very much banned, along with a red Mana Crypt, which is their most expensive card at $7,000. Additionally, they had some other serialized cards, a little bit of power with a recall and a time walk in the bottom right, and a ton of Surge foils from Final Fantasy. Our journey continued at Journey's End. We found a $7,000 Arwen here amongst a bunch of other graded serialized cards. These are alongside your Surge foils from Final Fantasy, along with your Power 9 of course. Then I made my way to Stomping Grounds, which had a huge assortment of graded cards, including the $7,000 Time Twister. Their iPad to the left here made for a great way to view their inventory and buy cards. Super easy. I then went over to Hot Sauce Games, where I also sold a bunch of cards. They had fantastic prices, really easy to work with, but they also had a Mox Sapphire and a Time Walk, both at $9,000. Collector's Legion had a bunch of confetti foils, along with your usual power and dual lands, a 7th edition foil birds, which is really hot, and a $10,000 Elvish Soul Ring right here. Magnolia didn't really have the craziest stuff, but they did have this $14,500 Black Lotus, along with a blue Chocobo, which is pretty cool, and some high-end Surge foils from Final Fantasy. Strike Zone had a couple of graded Dingus eggs, which I'm a huge fan of, along with a bunch of other older cards, including this $16,000 Black Lotus. They had plenty of Power 9 in stock, along with a huge range of dual lands, and a handful of other expensive, older, more niche cards like Wak Wak Island. At Propaganda, we move away from the Power 9 because we're starting to get to the really unique stuff. In this case, you'll see a couple of Chocobos, a miscut Shivan Dragon, which is pretty cool, some altars, a playtest card right here, and a $25,000 test print City of Traders. And then down below, we have some artist proofs that are painted of the Moxen. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get a price on those. Speaking of artist proofs, they had an impressive collection of painted artist proofs here. They are absolutely stunning. The Mana Vault had an impressive assortment. We're skipping right past all this Power 9 because here we have some extremely rare and very impressive cards. In this section, we have a handful of playtest cards from when the game was being designed, a Swarovski Crystal Forest, which is a real rarity. It's a really cool test print card made with Swarovski crystals. That's at $25,000. At $45,000, we have another City of Traders test print. And then the most expensive card is one of the Celebration of Life cards down here, being Splendid Genesis, which is a card that is made to celebrate Richard Garfield's first child's birth. And then we still have more heaters over here with additional Power 9, Chocobos, you name it. Galactis had some impressive inventory. Just the quantity is crazy. But up here we have some $50,000 Black Lotuses. They had so many duels, so much power, just a bunch of old school cards, along with some gorgeous altars. They had a great assortment of altars, and they all have beautiful original art. Next to those, we had some signed cards, including a signed Richard Garfield PhD and playtest cards. Although it wasn't the craziest assortment of cards, 3 for 1 had a $75,000 Black Lotus. Star City Games had some very cool inventory here. That Black Lotus puzzle, 70 grand. The Chaos Orb one, 25 grand. Up in the top right, you have Playtest Moxen. But in the middle of that section, you've got Painted Artist Proof Power 9. It's a whole set for 500 grand. Yet that wasn't the most expensive thing on the con floor. This case from Toa holds some of the most expensive cards I will ever see in my lifetime. We had a few Eternal Weekend promos here, like the Tinker and Crop rotation. This misprinted to be Blue Hurricane from Summer Magic. For those of you that don't know what Summer Magic is, it's an extremely limited printing of Revised, where only a few boxes really made it into the public, and that made those cards exorbitantly expensive. Then we have some more Richard Garfield Celebration cards, another Splendid Genesis, a Golden Chocobo number 17. Really cool to see that in person. It's like textured and stuff. Oh my god, they're gorgeous. And then over here for 65 grand, we have a Hero of the Realms card. For those of you that don't know what a Hero of the Realms card is, it's a card that's gifted to Wizard of the Coast employees for exceptional work. And they're extremely limited and technically legal in Commander if you're gifted one. Now the moment you've been waiting for, the most expensive individual card I found at the con was this artist proof Black Lotus signed by both Richard Garfield and Christopher Rush. Insane. $250,000 for a singular card. There's also this Dark Ritual that's $85,000, and there's probably only 4 of them that exist because they were given out as first place prizes at Pro Tours for a year, so 4 of them, which is crazy. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, everybody.